The tale of the savior plants. Once upon a time, in a distant world where nature flourished, there were special plants that had magical powers. These plants were known as savior plants. In this world, an ecological catastrophe began. Forests were cut down, rivers were polluted, and the air was filled with toxic gases. Animals and humans suffered the effects of this destruction. One day, a wise old woman named Eliza traveled to the mountains in search of magical savior plants. She believed they could bring balance back to nature and save the world. Eliza found the savior plants, each with a unique power. Among them were the healer tree, which could heal the earth of poisonous substances; the purifier flower, which purified water; and the protector leaf, which created a protective barrier against air pollution. Eliza gathered the savior plants and encouraged people to help them restore nature. As spring began, they began their magical work, restoring forests, cleaning rivers, and purifying the air. With each passing day, the world came to rest. Animals returned to the forests, rivers became clean and full of fish, and the air was filled with the freshness and scents of flowers. People learned to respect and care for nature. They stopped cutting down forests and began to care about the purity of water and air. Thus, thanks to the savior plants and the efforts of good people, the world was saved from ecological catastrophe. And since then, people have remembered that nature is a gift to be cherished and respected, and that plants can be our allies in saving the world. With the savior plants, a true era of change began. People, inspired by their magic and power, banded together in communities to restore nature and teach others how to care for it. It all began in a small village where the Franklin family lived. The father, mother, and their two children, Emily and Tom, were people who cared deeply about nature. When they learned about plants to save, they made the decision to join the environmental movement. With the approval of Plants to Save, the Franklin family created a small wildlife refuge, restoring wildlife populations and providing them with a safe haven. Every day they worked with children from neighboring villages, teaching them about the importance of conservation. Other communities across the country began to emulate them. Together they reforested deforested areas, cleaned up riverbanks, and taught people how to live in harmony with the environment. As time went on, more and more people joined the movement to save nature. From all over the world came reports of good deeds and stories of how small acts of caring could make a big difference. Soon, governments and world leaders joined the movement too, passing laws and measures to protect nature and combat environmental problems. They realized that nature was more valuable than gold and diamonds, and that its preservation carried with it the power of restoration and renewal. And so, thanks to the plant saviors, the Franklin family, and millions of other good people, the world was saved from ecological disaster. Nature came to her senses, and people learned to live in harmony with her. Since then, every year, on Nature Day, People around the world celebrate the acts of kindness and the changes they have made to preserve our planet. And they remember the plant saviors who inspired them to do good deeds and reminded them that nature is our precious gift that we must preserve and protect.